Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Make America Civil Again. Before we get started, always like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment on the bottom. Tell me what you think about this week's episode. Today, we're going to talk about police officers and their dealings with racism. I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine named Taylor. So, Taylor, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm born and raised. I'm a native from the Valley. Born and raised on the east side of Las Vegas. I am an alumni from Las Vegas High School.
Okay.
And I just love the Valley. A lot of people talk about getting up and moving away, but I mean, I don't see myself leaving here anytime soon.
Yeah.
I love this Valley, and I'm locked in for 30 years. So. On my PERS contract.
What made you decide to become a police officer?
You know, there's a couple different reasons. One of the big reasons that made me want to become a police officer was I played sports my whole life. And, after I couldn't play sports after high school anymore, I was working different jobs. I got with this good company out here called Switch, and I loved working there, but there was none of that team aspect of working there. You know, you didn't feel like you were doing something. You know, you played sports for a very long time, and there's always that need for that team feeling. And that was a big reason why I wanted to join the police department, is because you're working with every day with your brothers and sisters, and they have they have their back, your back, and you have theirs. And another aspect was growing up, I had a troubled childhood. After my little brothers were born, I wanted to be good role models to my little brothers. I don't really come from I don't come from poverty, but I call it is I had everything that my parents legally had to give me growing up.
We had to get food.
Yeah, food, clothes, and a roof. And my parents did everything that they could for us, but seeing my other family members that were in law enforcement and the great life that it had for them. The whole third thing was growing up African American, there had always been that kind of divide between police and African Americans, and I kind of wanted to be that change, coming into the police department and see if I could, help out with that and just kind of help with that divide.
So before you became a police officer, what was it like with your interactions with police officers, from a day-to-day basis, whenever you got pulled over, anything like that? Was there anything that you were afraid of? Did you fear police? Did you hate police? What was your feelings towards them before you decided to, yes, this is the career path I want to take?
So I only had one bad interaction with the police officer. I had just bought a brand new Dodge Avenger. It was the RT, had all the little bells and whistles.
Okay.
And that was my baby right there. But I was driving on the 95. I think I was passing Las Vegas Boulevard, heading to the east side. I was living in Summerlin at the time, and I get pulled over. I think I was going 82 and a 65. He got me, pulls me over, and he comes to the window, and he was Caucasian, bald head, aviators on, and he was like, license, registration, proof of insurance, and I gave him all my stuff. Oh no, I didn't have my registration. So he was like, I couldn't find it. He was like, well, do you have a rental agreement? I'm like, well, this is my vehicle. I don't rent the car. And I'm not sure about how police was then, but when I run someone's plate, I can see that they own that vehicle. It's not a rental car. So, I'm kind of taken back at it, why are you asking me, is this a rental car? I'm like, no, I own this vehicle. And I end up finding the registration and giving it to him, and he goes back to his car, and he comes back up, and he's like, are you sure this is your car? And I'm like, I just bought it. And I had just bought it a couple of weeks ago, and I had I bought it from CarMax. I still had the whole little, when you buy a car, you get that folder. I'm like, yeah, I just bought it. This is how much I paid for it and everything. And he looked at me, and he came back with the ticket, and he was like, just make sure that you have your registration and proof of ownership in the vehicle. I'm like, why do I have to have proof of ownership in the vehicle? And that interaction just rubbed me a wrong way. What made you think that I didn't own this vehicle, or that it was a rented vehicle? Yeah. Usually rented vehicles have certain tags on them, or it would come back to a rental company or something when you ran the plates. But that was it, my only negative interaction with law enforcement.
Okay. You have that one bad interaction with a police officer, and then you become a police officer. So what's it like for you now as a biracial police officer?
It's actually, very, not funny, but literally this past Super Bowl Sunday, we get a call that a male's so the call comes out, male's being chased in the middle of the street by another male. But by the time we get there, the notes get updated that a male's on the phone, walking fast up and down the street, yelling into his phone saying he's gonna hurt someone. First, my partner gets there. My partner's Caucasian. He gets there, starts talking with this guy. Guy's kind of a little hesitant as I'm walking up, and as I walk up, I observe he has a fat lip and a cut hand. So I'm like, maybe he just got into a fight, maybe someone just battered him, and he's kind of giving me the. And he's an African American male, actually same color as me. I call him mulattoes. So I walk up talking to him like, hey man, look, you see you got your fingers messed up and everything. How about we just come over here and take a seat? I had him sit down, and we're like, hey, where'd you come from? Like, why's your hand all busted up? He's giving us his face. Obviously a not truthful story. So we have my partner goes and knocks on the door. And his friends come out. Once his friends come out, the whole story of y'all mess with me because I'm black, you guys are trying to arrest me, and we're like, hey, we're not even trying to arrest you. I'm just making sure you're okay. That someone just didn't harm you or rob you or something. And y'all just mess with me because I'm black. And I looked at him like, did my uniform turn me white? Am I wearing a cloak? I was appalled. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. Basically, you can tell he had been drinking. Like, hey, we don't want this to end bad for you, so let's just go inside. And he kept pressing the issue. The root of the story is it like when I put that uniform on, it's like they don't see me as when I'm out on my off day wearing my Jordan slippers with my basketball shorts and my Nike shirt.
Yeah.
They see me as something completely different, or I'm viewed as something completely different.
Yeah.
Which I'm still the same person, but I now have to withhold these laws and rules while I'm in that uniform. Yeah. That I don't go outside of those boundaries for anyone.
Yeah. So 'cause I know you're biracial, but the majority of the world looks at you like you're African American.
If this is how I look at it, if I put on an application that I'm Caucasian and I walk into the office, the manager's gonna be looking outside the door like. You're
I said Taylor.
You're the wrong interviewee.
Even though you look like him and you were actually trying to help him out, there was still this animosity that he had towards you. Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think people have such animosity towards? It seems like just cops in general, even though that you are just like him. Where does it come from?
The uniform, and knowing that. My brother just graduated the fire academy. If he shows up somewhere, he's there to help someone. If I show up there, I'm there to help you, but like I explained earlier, I have to follow certain policies and laws to where I'm there to help you, but if I found out that you have broken any of these of the laws, then I'm there to then reprimand you and take you to jail. Not harm you or anything, but make sure that you are to answer for those laws that you have broken. So in my opinion, I feel that it is people don't like to be told no, or people don't like to be told they can't do certain things. I believe that I entered into policing as a different era, as let's say when your father entered into firefighting, and I face different challenges, not because as they view me as a white man in a uniform, I see they only view that uniform and that uniform is there to tell them that they can't do a certain thing that they feel like they're obligated to do.
So now it's no longer about race, it's about police officer.
Yeah.
You're a police officer, therefore you're not liked. I don't like you because you're gonna tell me I can't do things that I wanna do.
And that's how I view it.
So being an African American police officer, have you ever experienced racism while you're on the job?
Yes. There's been a call where again someone wasn't following they weren't following the rules or the laws that they were supposed to follow, so it resulted in me arresting them. And it was a Caucasian female, and at first we were fine. We built up a good rapport, but once I established I had probable cause for an arrest and I arrested her, I went from the nice neighborhood officer to 7 different types of N-words. Grew up, and I'm not from down south or anything like that, so I didn't experience that type of racism from Caucasians, me growing up. So that was a pretty big shock, hearing those words, and it kind of took me back for a second, like, I'm not here arresting you on false charges. I'm here to take you to jail because I have developed probable cause to know that you have done something wrong and you need to come with me.
Well, how did you respond? How did you respond to her? Like, I'm assuming you remained cordial and had to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. So at that time, I was on field training, and I was with the field training officer, and he was just reminding me the whole time, hey, we're professionals. We're not here to argue back with them. We're here to make sure that now, since they're in our care and custody, that they get to the destination, which is a jail, safe. So basically, he's like, in a situation like this, you put your blinders on, and once you handcuff them, put them in the back seat, search them, put them in the back seat, your blinders are on. They can say whatever they want. It goes back to that sticks and stones may break your bones, but these words aren't going to hurt me while I'm in this uniform. Yeah, they might take a toll on you over the course of your career, but while she's in your custody, just put your blinders on and keep driving.
Talk me through how you feel about like that altercation now. Like, what do you still think about that even to this day?
I grew up with 4 brothers, so there ain't much that hasn't been said to me. And I'm a comical person.
Yeah.
And I talk with like my brother and my buddies. Like, I feel like I have a mind made for this job because I grew up like a very husky kid, so I was picked on until I started working out and getting in the gym and stuff. And I don't know, like, to me, things don't really stick. I go to church and stuff like that, and not to get, I know we'll look at the political side of things, but I just take things off of my back, and what I learned growing up, I land on my Lord. I give it to Him because I know at the end of the day, He's going to have my back. So it's just more of like, I don't feel like it's affected me, and I don't have a negative look at people because I met her in her worst time. I don't know who she is in her best time.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
That's how I look at things.
Yeah. So you experienced racism on the job. Have you ever experienced any racism outside of the job, like when you're not wearing a uniform? It could be when you're a kid, now, whenever in your entire time.
Yeah, I've experienced racism when I was younger. In middle school, when I grew up in middle school, it was more like the Hispanics against the African Americans, and I've experienced it when I was in middle school. I was in the bathroom, and these Hispanic guys walked in, and they basically, I feel like I was going to be harmed because of the tension that was in school between the blacks and the Hispanics. But they threatened me pretty good, and I thought something was going to happen. But it didn't, Kind of showed me that, like, I've never done nothing to them. I've never even spoke to them because of the tone of my skin and how I look. It perceives me to be someone I'm not, And that was one of the only times I feel like I felt racism outside of the job.
How's it feel to be light skinned? A dark brother like me just got to know.
There's certain privileges. Getting $2 off your McDonald's. You might get in the club before Dark Brother does.
And you come in, you stay in line, sir.
You stay in line.
Hey, Taylor, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on, Make America Civil Again. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, don't forget.
Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And leave a comment at the bottom below, please. And if you have a question that you want to see answered on here, or if you want to appear on here, you can email me at civilizeamerica@gmail.com, and I would love to talk to you about something you're passionate about. But remember, this month is Black History Month, so this is number 2 in 4 installments where I'm talking to Black people about their experience in America. So until next time, which is next Wednesday, I'm out.